You said you saw my father.
Why do you call him that? He's not your real dad.
He's done damage only a father could do.
Welcome back to Secrets from the Corridor, presented by AT&T. I'm Steven Kruger, and we are once again back on the set of the originals with producers Julie Pleck and Senor Michael Narducci. We are talking episode 20, entitled A Closer Walk with Thee. I think we kind of have to lead with the one thing that I am absolutely positive everybody wants to know about, which is the kiss.
He's just captivated by her, and he was so noble all season long because he didn't want to take or have what was not his to have, and finally he gave himself the freedom to do so.
Now I think even though she is drawn to Elijah and attracted to Elijah, she has to realize that this is going to be very difficult. He's immortal, I'm a werewolf, he's a vampire, all these things make things,
You just put so much pressure on one sweet, sexy little kiss.
I know.
What the hell did you do to Haley?
I was trying to do what the ancestors asked.
That baby is part witch. The ancestors want her consecrated to the earth so her magic can fuel our community. She has to be born first, before she can die.
What is the deal with the witches and wanting this baby dead so badly?
Well, I think that the important thing to remember for the witches is that they draw all their power from their ancestors, and that baby is a Michelson, and their mother was a witch. So this baby has all kinds of power and all kinds of awesome, and I think that the witches would like the baby and all that it represents to be fueling their power and not fueling anybody else's.
And of course, I'd be remiss to get through this recap without talking about the return of one of the fan favorite characters, Michael. Besides,
sorry.
Josh unfortunately was MIA in this episode.
We broomed him out. There was a whole storyline.
There was?
He needed to. No, he was never involved.
You're Klaus's father.
And I'm the only one who can rid you of him forever.
Michael returns in this episode, and why can't he just let this thing go with Klaus?
Well, my favorite line from episode 20 is when, Haley looks at Klaus and says, "Why do you keep referring to him as your father? He's not your real father." Mm-hmm. And Klaus says, "He's done the kind of damage only a father can do." And in that moment, I think you realize, even though he's Klaus, even though he is capable of terrible, terrible things, and he is this damaged, monstrous soul, there is a bit of the shattered child who grew up and was hated by the person who should love you the most.
Shall we wrap up with some questions from the fans?
Yes.
You guys love that, right? This is actually pretty interesting. Are we actually going to get to see the baby?
I will say absolutely positively before the end of the season that we will meet that baby.
Awesome. This last question, I promise I did not write as Josh and submit it, but what kind of bribe are we talking to get more shirtless Elijah scenes?
Can we see Elijah shirtless before the end of the season?
I am offended by that question. I feel like whatever the story calls for,
it's organic.
It's
all about the story.
We're not trying to veer off into directions of people taking their
What do you think we are, the Vampire
What kind of
Diaries?
show do you think this is? All right, well, we'll cross our fingers. Josh certainly will.
Klaus isn't the only thing we need to be afraid of. Look, if there's a war coming, promise me you'll go before you get caught up in it.
Give us a little taste of what's coming in 121, which is, of course, titled The Battle of New Orleans.
The final 2 episodes, it's almost like a massive story that is told over the course of 2 episodes, and it is the culmination of every single thing that we've been building to throughout the season. You've got the witches, the werewolves, the vampires, the human faction. All of these different storylines are going to reach a point where things are going to fundamentally change, and that will be our story going into the next season.
Step out of the car, both of you. What's this about?
I think you should do what the man says before things take a nasty turn.
I think we are all looking forward to these last 2 episodes, starting with the Battle of New Orleans next week. And we will return next week to recap it all for you, and we'll get a preview of the Season 1 finale as well. Keep all your comments coming on Twitter with #TheOriginals, and also remember to enter for a chance to win a trip to New Orleans to live like an original. Go to cwtv.com/secrets for all the details. We'll see you next week for the big battle.